What is up, nerds? We have a new Haslab. We have a new Transformers. Almost a Ghost. Welcome in, everybody. What's up, EC? Good to see you. Dave's Dimension, good to see you. Figured, you know how much I love a good Haslab, so we're here watching this. Wait, is it like, how many figures is in this thing? $10,000 backers needed. A display stand was, all right. Is this like a Megazord? Is that that's the vibe I'm getting here? I just want to see the chat. I'm seeing a lot of mixed emotions in the Hasbro chat right now. W's, L's. Sup, Sal? Good to see you.
So there you have it, Haslab Omega Prime from Robots in Disguise. There was clearly people that were on this. Clearly, a lot of options, right?
Yeah.
So Legacy United, we're celebrating all 40 years of Transformers history, bringing in people from every bit of entertainment. So when we started talking about what should we be doing for our 40th anniversary Haslab, we kind of honed in on the middle of Transformers history, and our most iconic character being Optimus Prime. And this is kind of where things settled on. So let's talk about him and his gray model.
I did not think it would be
a little bit. So
Optimus Prime at all.
We're working with Yuki-san and Takara Tomy on this, who happened to design the original figure 20 years ago. So we're happy to be bringing this back. I know I have notoriously said Optimus Prime will never be a Haslab, and I was so very wrong. But I've never been more happy to be wrong, because this figure is absolutely amazing.
All right, let's take a look at that render image that was in the video of him. We can check him out here in his glorious red deco. We will have a painted model soon, but you can see he's going to look very screen accurate. So, but yeah, let's talk back more about this model now that we showed that.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, red fire truck Optimus Prime.
I hear you like your Optimus Primes as fire.
Anthony in the house, good to see you.
A normal flat-nosed truck.
This is going to be a really tough sell, very niche even for Transformers. Yeah, I have no idea
serves a purpose of helping people.
what this is. Price, yeah, we haven't seen that yet.
Character, so I've always really enjoyed that. And everybody has like a
should have done Transformers TMNT crossover, both 40 years, yeah.
About why we were possibly thinking about doing this, a common thread that kept coming up was, what was everybody's dream toy
$1
that
million. Good to see you, Duffman.
Prime Ultra Magnus from Car Robots in Disguise came up quite often.
And with wheels that will no longer disintegrate.
Yes. So we're going to start right there. There is no rubber, no PVC tires in this. They will be ABS, so they will last forever. But yes, so this guy also has no electronics. We're going to just make sure that everybody knows that as well. So we're actually able to use his backpack to serve a bunch of other functions to improve.
Oh, it's from 2000s. All right.
Which is essentially
I figured as much from the animation style.
Great about the original, and we've upped its game to the next level. He's got.
Just gonna lower the volume a little bit.
One of the simple things that I think people will enjoy is on the original figure, his hands
and raise
were
my
still
volume
encased
a
in,
bit.
like his armor.
Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this is something you guys are gonna cop.
It wasn't that big.
And what price point?
But like something we were like,
what price point works for you that you would buy
and
this?
That became a very like, oh yeah, just like the anime then. So that was great. Obviously, he's got some thick thighs.
Thick thighs.
Thick thighs. Thick box.
Why is this Haslab?
As we always say. And a lot of what we did here is that we were focusing on how to make this Optimus Prime support his combined modes more and stronger to make sure that it can be the best toy it can be.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm really happy to show off with this guy.
All right, so for our next image, let's take a look at the fire truck base mode. We have this render of all the way that's going to look, and then we can transition here to the gray model for that as well after we take a look at this image. So let's take a look at the base mode there. As you can see, it's
Dave
really
is passing.
big. That's great.
EC doesn't really seem Haslab. Yeah,
when
I
we
don't understand
come
why
back
this is a
out, it'll
Haslab.
even fit in the frame when we come back from the image transition. It's perfect. So.
My 5-year-old wants me to buy her RC.
Sense of the size.
Is there one you guys recommend?
Here we go. Here's Deluxe Class C.
Yeah, that's a
count.
Dave question.
So
That's a Patrick question
this
for
guy
sure.
is practically a
Millennium, good to
1-for-1
see you. Welcome
size-wise
in.
of the original toy, which those original toys were very big.
Yeah.
So it makes this guy very impressive. Okay.
There's our buddy. So yeah, so you can see the base mode. There's a lot going on here. Have the ladder, have the fire hose gun, water hose at the top there, right?
Yep. A couple of things to talk about on this one. So the original chair seat for the ladder, it was originally used for Diaclone figures.
Okay.
You could stick them in there. So what we've done is we've actually increased the size here so that Titan Master figures can now sit in there.
Perfect.
And not only that, they can also sit up in.
Yeah, somebody guessed here 300.
the hose head.
That's what I'm feeling.
So just if you have a couple Titan Master figures at home, you can have them play with the base and interact with it a little bit more. But yeah, obviously, the ladder raises. It's going to be on a ratchet joint. It still has the missile functions, but it is not a spring-loaded gimmick anymore. We have taken those kind of things out just so that we can put as much more.
I'm just going to mute it for a second just to get this thought out there, right? We've talked in the past, and that's why we're even here this morning. You know how much I love talking my business conspiracies when it comes to anything nerdy, right? We've talked in the past about the thought that Hasbro is going to start moving to a business model where they're either selling the licenses out and or just making Haslabs. Like, if they're going to make anything in-house, it's going to be something Haslab related, where it's made to order, it's something you've always wanted, and they can put a much higher cost to making that. This looks like that to me right now. I don't see why these figures need to be a Haslab. The fire truck, sure, larger than other Transformers figures, more intuitive, but I'm not sure why this needs to be a Haslab. This isn't Unicron. Unicron was massive. You're not putting that in stores. I'm not seeing it here, but let's see what they're talking about.
Electronics, his backpack now can act as extra support.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that can come down. And I don't want to say it acts like a girdle, but it gives him more ab crunch support. So he'll definitely be able to support more.
But Transformers fans, man, they
not flop around.
They come out sometimes,
it's a wonderful little addition
they show up.
Added in to make sure that he's sturdier and can be the best toy that he can be.
Perfect.
Only needs 10,000 as well.
So
Let's
take another look at that render image so you can see exactly this super mode Optimus you're going to get very clearly.
Oh, they already put it up.
Have a lot of
250.
bright red color since he's a fire truck. But let's
Wow, they were
transition
fast.
back
They
to
did
the
not
gray
waste
model here.
any time.
Evan just got done converting him into super mode.
Optimus Prime, super mode.
There's a lot going on here.
Yes. So this series kind of canonized Optimus Prime merging with the rest of his trailer, which is always such a fun little gimmick because now that is always a given. But
I'm not seeing it
so much, mostly because
I'm not
just
seeing
how
it. I'm sorry.
It is compared to everything else.
I really
Optimus
like the
Prime.
bandolier chest.
Yeah,
I get
isn't it?
that
Like
it's
the asymmetry of it. Yeah,
very
I love it too.
niche.
Actually, speaking of that bandolier, here, just for comparison, let's bring out the original toy as well.
There you go.
Just so everybody can see. I brought this from home.
I'm jealous.
Which is why it's covered in dust, by the way. So he will have all the same features that the original toy had, obviously, but you can very much see how the proportions have
Sell
been
them individually.
vastly improved.
Build a figure. Yeah.
Which again is because we thickened up those thighs and we thickened up some of the limbs.
He's been doing his squats. It took him 23 years, but he's here.
But one of the interesting things is he's now tall enough that the ladder no longer needs to fold.
If somebody
in order
wants,
for
you
him
can
to
go into the
stand.
Hasbro chat, tell them it's
Just a nice
$250.
little
It's on the
thing.
website right now.
So he will, of course, have access to the
Actually, I
Matrix.
should be able to do that on my phone.
In English, this was the Matrix of Leadership, but in Japanese, it was the Energon Matrix.
Okay.
So in our version, in this new Haslab version, the Energon Matrix is actually going to be a separate part that you can take out. It was just a decoed piece in the original. We are also going to have vac metal and the hot foil stamping that this one had. Ooh. So the antenna and the eyes will be vac metal, and then we are going to hot foil stamp like the Autobot logo on his bandolier.
Nice.
First sister, good to see you. Welcome in.
Like he's got ankle tilts now, so he can pose out.
Ultra Magnus in vehicle mode is Ultra Magnus
There's a lot
from
going on.
Siege for
which
Cybertron
granted,
repaint.
This is a rapid prototype model, so while I am transforming
I thought
and showing
Siege
it
was
off,
just
there's
okay.
I can't show you everything because I'm so afraid I'm going to break it. But do know, like, yes, this is going to be a fantastic figure.
All right. So that does it for Optimus. Clearly, there's more to this, right? Can't do Omega Prime without his brother, as he's known in this series. So let's take a look at Ultra Magnus here in his bot mode in the render. You can see the colors. There's a lot of blues in this, so there's this nice bright, bright blue.
I didn't realize all of that was Optimus.
Blue, a lot of stark.
To me,
whiteness
Optimus
going on
not
there
turning
that
into a semi-truck
Ultra Magnus
is
very much known for, but also
is egregious.
Huge.
So
right?
I don't know.
This
I
guy
didn't
comes
expect
out,
that.
He's commander size from the get-go. So let's take a look at his gray model.
Yeah.
So Ultra Magnus is going to be 11 and a half inches.
Like he's
Prime 12 and a
as
quarter.
he's meant to be. Which actually, I guess let's show size comparison real quick, just so that they can see them next to each other.
All right, so we have
You can clearly see that
10,000 is what they
comes out of
need.
the box in his commander height and doesn't need to be super moded up to be that big.
No, he's just that big.
And Hound
scale.
for comparison.
Yeah,
we have to.
Yeah, he's my,
so they hit
he's my special
27,000 on this one.
All right, let's talk about Ultra
Goal
Magnus
was
here. There's
11.
A lot going on.
What was the price point again?
There
I
is
had it up and I
feet
didn't
to hold
realize.
himself
180.
He is.
Carrier.
All right, so
Ultra Magnus,
180,
he joins the
27,000
70%
on
light club
Deathosaurus.
That is exclusively him and Beast Machine's Cheetor, I think. But it's such an iconic design that I love it to death. Yeah,
10,000
again, he will have all the same
on
features
Unicron.
that the
Unicron
original
was
toy had, but
massive.
we've added
I don't know why the
details.
price isn't
We've
there.
Made sure to give him more like strength areas so that
Victory
he can pose out a
Saber,
lot better.
26,000. They
and
needed
this is
11.
kind of a reference to the Japanese continuity of this. He actually will have a spot for the Energon.
I hate when they don't have the
Matrix
prices on the
in his
website.
chest. And he will come with an Energon Matrix. We just didn't have two printed with this prototype.
You look on the app.
But
Usually
yeah,
the
he
app
will
will tell me.
finally get his own Matrix.
I think it backs. I'm
Finally got him. All right, so let's take a look at the render of the
I hate to
vehicle
say it
mode
from
for him.
a
So you can clearly see big truck, car carrying, will fit.
morality standpoint. I think
The
it
three
backs.
deluxe car bots we've kind of designed.
They already got
And then you
297.
can kind of see on the top of the image here, there's something else going on. Ultra Magnus was, known for that cannon weapon that he had in the show. But Yuki and you kind of took it a lot
Unicron
further this time.
was
It was all Yuki, and I'm
$575.
gonna
So
start by showing the original.
kind of
So
explains,
this is Ultra Magnus's blaster.
at that time.
Pack, I guess is what I'm gonna call it. This was Blue Bolt.
Let me mute this. So for record here, so Unicron hit 10,000 backers, but that was $575. That was back in the day when Haslabs were like a new thing. 2021. So would it have backed or got more backers in current day? Probably. Considering the Ghost was what, 500? Oh no, the Ghost was 350. I keep adding numbers to the Ghost. Oh wait, no, I was looking at the Razor Crest. Where's the Ghost? Wasn't the Ghost 500? Past projects. Oh, I need to go into active projects. No, in production. Yeah, the Ghost was 500. So, looking at other Transformers, Deathosaurus was 180, and past the Victory Saber was also 180. So 180, they seem to kill it. North of 25,000 backers every time.
Stylization about him, like it's so good. I love it to death.
All right, let's put Optimus back up here in super mode.
Interesting. Somebody here says, so glad it isn't G1.
And we'll,
I thought
show it,
G1
but
would sell
while
the
everyone's
most.
Getting that, let's show the render image. You can see all 3 pieces here in the offering in this render, shows their heights, shows exactly what's going on, shows you your colors. You know, deco subject to change, although
Yeah,
we're pretty
500.
locked in.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah,
these should be very close, but we still got to get to production, so anything's possible. But here you can see your 3 pieces that will be coming in this Haslab base offering.
350.
Only 10,000 backers needed to get
Already up to
this
350.
display on the table right now.
Yeah, if we're showing this, should we? Let's here, just so everybody. I'm gonna
Let's
grab,
compare.
Yeah,
Jeez.
just so everybody can see what's going on. Ultra Magnus, I'm sorry. Can you just? There we go. Here we go. So I'm gonna show some comparison with Star Saber, obviously. So you can kind of see what all you're getting in this package, and then this was everything that you got previously. And then, oh, Tesaurus, you're so wide. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if I can get him on there. Here. I'm sorry, Star Saber. You're not in bot mode. Oh, whatever. People will get it. There we go.
So yeah, clearly a lot in this offering.
Wow.
Yep. Well, we tried.
Yeah.
We're trying to get everything in there that we can to make this as,
It's going to back.
I don't know, pleasing
It's
of
gonna
an
back.
offering as possible.
So the next image we're going to show, clearly this all went down in the show of making Omega Prime when Ultra Magnus tried to steal the power of the Matrix from Optimus by...
Because the other thing, too, is this fan base is used to paying $180 for one oversized figure. They've done it 2 times already. So right now you're like, oh, for less than half the price, right? If you were to buy the 2 individually, you can get 3 figures. So like what? Buy 3, get 1 free at this point. Like there's that smaller one. Yeah, this is gonna back.
Look at how well the proportions are in this. Like he carries all this armor so well. He looks so good. And the posability is all there.
Also, I mean, we pay $250 for one hot toy. So that's another thing to kind of think. This is not the casual person's Haslab. That's for sure. That's for sure. But I think at $250, it's gonna make it. Yeah, it's gonna make it.
In there to make this pop and look as good as possible.
I feel like I would have to paint this.
A really fun point.
You could, yeah. We need Hobbies with Jose in here to talk about painting.
But the bicep parts of Ultra Magnus, after you put them into Omega Prime mode, I almost said the Japanese name, they just kind of like dangled and there wasn't anywhere to put them. So we made sure, Yuki made sure, let's say, that he actually has very decent and good storage back here now. So it looks very clean. And
Not the casual person's, so
really
Josh
nice.
isn't running to fund it. Probably
it's
not.
A beautiful sculpt. It's a beautiful toy. And the original is also a beautiful toy.
Geez, you just have 2 of these things?
So, funny story about that. Later in life, I did acquire these just because, like many others, I could not find them when the show originally happened. And you can only display them like this, right? And then you have a lot of the leftover armor bits from Optimus Prime. I was at a flea market somewhere, and someone was selling just the base body of Optimus Prime, not in the best quality, but it was super cheap. It was like $5. And it's like, I just need that to store the armor. And so that's what that was.
Perfect.
But yeah, another nice thing, Ultra Magnus's head is completely hidden in our new one. You can kind of see it pop out over here just because there's not really any storage for it.
So much going on here.
It does have a lot going on.
Gosh, we're still on the base offering too. We haven't even talked about tiers yet, have we?
We haven't even talked about price
Well,
yet.
No, we haven't done that either. All right.
So
We'll
let's
spoil
take a
that
look.
here.
You
All
can
right, so you
clearly
got
see on the original toy
up
all
to
the colors. Let's take a
355
look at that
refresh,
render. Again,
443.
Kind of posed out all the color going on there. And that is your Omega Prime offering in color. That's the base offering. Again, 10,000 backers needed.
13,000
240,
Matrix
I guess,
Blade.
First time, not again, but $249.99 for this. But clearly, we have more. There's more.
A bridge
within that launch
display
video.
stand?
Let's talk
Sure,
about tier 1.
I guess.
We're gonna leave him in Omega Prime mode. So tier 1 is your Matrix Blade.
Ah,
This
interesting.
Comes in the final episode
Your manager
of the show.
is a huge Transformers, or co-manager is a huge Transformers fan and loves it.
Everybody
All right.
gives their energy.
They supercharge the energy of the Matrix.
Wow, that is huge.
Yeah, it creates this Matrix Blade.
It's only kind of big. Just
Wow.
a little.
Just a little bit.
Little
It's
bit.
meant to be wielded by Fortress Maximus as well. So
perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
So this will be tier 1. Obviously.
This is your tier 1. Again, the jump here will be 3,000 backers. So at 13,000
Wow.
backers, you're all getting your Matrix.
Almost
Blade,
2
complete your Omega
feet
Prime.
tall.
Let's take a look at this image here where it shows the height.
Where are you
comparison. So
displaying
can see
that?
The full height of Omega Prime and his color. You can
where's
see the
Hound?
height comparison of Matrix.
Where are you
Matrix Blade next to him. So there's a lot going on. Do you need me to hold this sword?
Yeah, could you hold
I
it?
feel like people would go to your house, see this, and be like, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what it is, but cool.
But there was a great concept of how we do the display bases here.
This one's a little bit
Yeah.
interesting. Before, we've only ever offered you 1 base, but we'll actually be offering you 2 in this one, because obviously this is coming with 2 humongous characters.
Next to my blurg.
And they are all a piece of
Put
the
it on
road
top
that
of
is
the blurg.
based
It's
off
riding it.
of the global
Bridge?
Yeah, the global
right?
space bridge or the Cybertronian.
Little
net,
fun for ballers
I
and
think is what it
completionists.
was. So
I think the
one of
ballers
the
would
fun
be
things is, obviously, you can
if it was a
display both living
$400
robot mode on
price
these,
point,
but you can take
$500 price
these
point.
Arms off, and they actually interlock to form a piece of the road.
So now you can display it in truck mode.
Yep.
If you want, for either vehicle on your desk.
Yep.
So.
It's
Yeah,
just
I
a
don't.
nice
I mean, I
little
don't get it, but
thing.
it's not for
And we
me.
should mention that you can use either ARM and 1 display base to also display
Yep.
your Omega Prime in its combined mode. So there's a lot of displayability here. Again, another increase of 3,000 backers. So we get to 16,000 backers, you'll get your 2 display stands as well as your
All
Matrix.
right, so we're at
Blade.
443.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Got it.
And your
532.
base offering of 3 characters, which become 1 giant character. So it's like Commander plus scale-ish, right? Like it's bigger than Victory Saber. So,
It definitely is. There he is.
so good.
Just for comparison.
Wow.
And then obviously we have all the leftover armor bits from the super mode for Optimus Prime.
So there is a lot going on here. So
there is a lot going on.
I mean, that
here.
that's all the things. Campaign, it's live now. I'm sure a bunch of you have already backed. It's there's just a lot of fun, interesting things going on. I think we're shocking fans quite a bit. I think
hope so.
it's been fun to watch people argue back and forth about we're never doing a Prime as a Haslab.
Well, that's because I said that. That was me being dumb.
But yeah, so when you get a chance, go watch that launch video again. We'll get that up there. This will be on, rebroadcast on YouTube. You guys can keep watching this video, get to know about it. Head to the Hasbro Pulse site, back this Haslab. The campaign is active live now through March 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you have 44-ish days, I think is how the math worked out on this. We're ending on Transformers Thursday. We're going to be doing some stuff in March to celebrate the 40th anniversary, so we're kind of aligned.
EC says, I think if I collected Transformers, this would be tempting. But I still stand by what I said about it not feeling like a Haslab, especially with no electronics. That is 1,000% true. 1,000% accurate. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in now. Anytime they want to push the envelope, they're going to go straight to, we're not trying to overproduce this thing. We're making an exact order with a margin of error. And that's how we're going to sell it. I don't understand why there's an angle here. There has to be an angle here, because out of the goodness of their heart, there's no way they're going to give you 3 figures for less than the price of 2. Right? So I kind of want to be shitty, greedy businessman. What's up, K-Walk? Good to see you, Kathy. I almost want to be greedy and say, if I was Hasbro, I would definitely sell 1 figure and then 2 together. Like that smaller one is part of the 2-pack, and it's a Build-A-Figure. And then I would charge the $180 each. But I don't understand why it has to be a Haslab. Because now Haslabs don't mean anything if this is what we're doing. Going back, where did the Dragonfly end up? 24,000. Yeah, so I mean, his tank 26, 27. Yeah, people are getting it. 13. Of course, our favorite 24. 21. Yeah. All right, so they've probably figured it out. You throw a Haslab out there, you guaranteed to get at least 20,000 orders, give or take. So why not do it? But it's disappointing because you would assume if it's a Haslab, they're really pushing the envelope and just making it a taller figure with thicker thighs. To me, is not pushing the envelope. I truly think this could have just been pre-order it now, and people would just buy it. No need to show the numbers and all that stuff. We're at 733 already. So, disappointing. I will say it is disappointing. Good morning, KO. Good to see you. But on the same token, I'm not a huge Transformers fan. So, I think the point of a Haslab should be, and let's go back for a second here. We have these down here that didn't go anywhere, and we look at this one didn't go anywhere. But looking at some of the stuff that funded, the Razor Crest. How much was Razor Crest? Was that the 350 I saw earlier? There's been so many now. It's like so hard to remember all the prices. $350, yeah. The Razor Crest is one of those, mass appeal. Here's a ship that is at such a scale that we can't put it in stores, and it pushes the barrier. It comes apart, different pieces. I don't know. I'm probably just being a hypocrite at this. As I'm like talking this out, I'm just being a hypocrite. Because I'm okay with the Razor Crest, but not okay with the Transformers figures. But I feel like there's more to this Razor Crest, right? Am I tripping? I feel like there's more here. It should have lights and sounds, in my opinion. The weapons rack, the details, all of it. Yeah, I feel like there's more here, but it's also, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't mean anything anymore. I feel like they jumped the shark. How much was the Sentinel? Was that also 350? It was. It was also 350. What do we pay? 300? Yeah, we paid 300 for it. I don't know. I Transformers fans obviously have been enjoying this. So 908. There you go. I just don't understand it. I feel like maybe Hasbro, for the sake of their board members, are like, hey, we need to have X amount of Haslabs released a year. And this is like a layup. They're like, hey, we'll do this one. Does it really need to be a Haslab? Not really. But again, we can guarantee the numbers because once we close that window, there's only X amount of days you have to cancel it. So we'll do it as a Haslab. That way we don't overproduce. They'll buy it because it's within the price point of what they have been paying already for these Haslabs. Done deal. But otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But hey, we've speculated this is the route that they're going to take. This is the route that Hasbro is going to go. Haslabs just become the new norm. Anything that comes out that is you can't reuse the molds on a regular basis, Haslab it. Just Haslab it. Yeah. But it seems like you guys all agree on that. It's not for us. We really... Oh, here we go. Yukon Phil. It looks cool, but no way am I backing this. So Phil, I would say is a bigger Transformer than most of us here. Sorry, Phil's not a Transformer. Bigger Transformers fan than most of us here. And I mean, Phil, your thoughts here. The previous Deathosaurus, I keep saying Deathosaurus, but it's Deathsaurus. The previous Deathsaurus and Victory Saber were 180, right? So 180 for each of those. And then this one is 250, and you get 3 figures. So based on numbers, I would guess it's a good deal, but is the 180 in itself not a good deal? That's my question for you, Phil. For an oversized Transformers, is 180 a real stretch for a Transformer? Millennium says they are smart. They are conditioning collectors. Yeah. Hi, Rex. Char, Phil. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I would. All right, so Phil says, so here's the deal. G1's always going to sell the best. It's an okay deal, just not desirable by many fans. So that's the other thing, too. It not being G1 is a little weird. Somebody in the comments, I called it out earlier, said, thank God it's not G1. I would have assumed that everybody wants G1, the nostalgia hit, you know? Very weird. Very, very weird. But I think people are going to eat it up. Yeah, we're at 1,000 already. We're at 1,000. 11:26. We're not even an hour in. I can get a Titan on Amazon that's 2 feet tall for $200. Yeah. I mean, I'll say congratulations to the Transformers team in advance. I'll say it in advance. Congratulations. It's gonna make it. It's gonna make it. I don't understand it, but it's gonna make it. But yeah, this is, to that larger issue. What's up, Rolando? Good to see you. This is to that larger issue. Everything doesn't have to be a Haslab. You could even the Phil's talking about it this week. This ridiculous 2-pack, it's not a Haslab, it's tied to a Haslab, but they just made a pre-order window that closes on the 14th. They made a hard date. So you're following the Haslab rules by, if you want this thing, you have to buy it by a certain date. If you don't, SOL. So I feel like that figure could have been that. These Transformers Haslabs always get back to you. That's a shit lab. And Rolando saying hi to everybody. Yeah. Yeah, 1189. Well, yeah, it'll make it. It'll make it. Still have not had a Power Ranger Haslab announced. So there's that. I don't know ultimately why everybody keeps backing these, but I'm not going to knock the fan base either. Creativity from the future, good to see you. Yeah, I'm not going to knock anybody. And if the 180 was not bad and you're like, all right, I was thinking Megazords too. You're like, 180 is not bad, so I'm getting 3. I get it. And then a hot toy costs 200 plus anyway. And a hot toy does less things, right? There's more detail, debatably mixed media on a hot toy. But with this one, I might have to take a deep dive. I might have to do some research and go into the lower decks of the Transformer fan base. Like go into the Reddit, go onto YouTube channels that just focus on Transformers, see what their collections look like, see what they talk about, see what they think about Haslabs, that kind of thing. Because it boggles my mind. But you know what? At the same time, I remember when the Dragonfly was announced, and I was like, $250 for that? I don't see it. The thing backed almost instantly. So, what do I know? Hell, the Ghost made it, and I don't know how. I don't know how, but if you're watching the replay, let me know down below what you thought of that. Are you gonna back it? Are we tripping? Is G1 so last year, and it's all about 2001 at the moment? Let us know. Personally, not backing it. I've only backed the 2 in the box. I was just thinking about that too. The Masterpiece Collection. Yeah, God, sorry. Let's go. We got to go back. We got to go back to the page. Give me a second here. Let's see. Here we go. Like, even this to me is a Haslab, right? It actually transforms. Electronics, the price point, the packaging. Like, I feel like something like this, if you smack Haslab on it, potentially gets more sales. I mean, we don't even know how many sales it did. And that could also be an angle, right? Like, let's not make it a Haslab so people can't visibly see how many people are buying it and potentially not back it and make fun of it. Or there's the other side. If we make it a Haslab, people see the numbers, people get FOMO, then they buy it. But this to me looks like a Haslab. I saw it in person and I wasn't impressed. This reminds me of, like, we talk all the time about how action figures are at these super high exorbitant prices now, right? I understand the way of the world, things are fine. But, like, really, a 6-inch action figure back in the day when we were kids, what, $15 was brand new? If we go back to Toys R Us, $5.99 at one point. I can remember some $5.99 figures, actually. I think those were more like 3-inch, 4-inch scale figures. But I remember we've had transforming toys before, right? Like, I'm not like making this up. We've had transforming toys before. They definitely didn't cost $1,000. They weren't Transformers necessarily, but we've had voice-controlled toys. And when I saw this in person at New York Comic Con, actually, let me pull up that video. I'll say usually it's on the main screen, but because we're live streaming, it's not there. Let's see. All right, so it's towards the end here. Did I skip it? Yeah, it was in this. Here we go. So I don't feel like there's much to that. It didn't seem like it was all die cast, So I don't think that's worth $1,500 or whatever the number is. Yeah, $1,500. But it's special. It's unique. It does something that the regular figures don't do. So I feel like this should have Haslab on it. It could also be because this says Robinson on it. This is one of those examples we talked about, giving out the license, but still selling it in-house, even though they didn't make it. So that could be why it's not a Haslab. But this is like a Haslab. The other one just doesn't. There's nothing special about it. You guys seem to agree with that point. If you're going to pay that kind of money for a Transformer, get a Masterpiece. So, let's see. Transformers Masterpiece. $135. So why is this better than what we got today? I'm not being like sarcastic. I'm just curious. Like, are the pieces like more die casty, or like I don't know why they don't just make that one a Masterpiece also, from what I'm seeing here, and sell it individually. Right? $219. Got articulation. Looks like die cast on it. Transforms. Oh, this one's not even out yet. Masterpiece have die cast, far more detail, and the engineering is very complex. Okay. This also makes sense. I thought this was already out. It says here, pre-order by August 3rd, out by May 24th of this year. Somebody in the comments of the other video was saying, like, where's my Optimus? So this one that was revealed today, you're saying, is not to the same quality as a Masterpiece, is what I gather. It's out. That's round 2 or 3 of pre-orders. Okay, cool. Gotcha. All right, well, I expect Phil to do a full breakdown of the Haslab. Because you can explain it far better than I could. That's for sure. We'll do one more check before we call it a day. Almost 1,500. Yeah. Nope, Masterpiece are much higher quality. All right, cool. Yeah, throw some die cast on it or something. I don't know. But then, well, here's the other thing too, right? If this was a Masterpiece, a Haslab Masterpiece, right? And this had die cast pieces. Trying to find that picture there. So if this was a Masterpiece, die cast pieces, 3 figures, would you pay $400 for it? Or is that out of left field? Because it looks like the Masterpieces were like $200 each, give or take. So if these 3 figures were to the quality of a Masterpiece, is it fair to say that these were $400? Oh, it would be $800 to $900 if it was a Masterpiece. Wow. Okay. So those are crazy details. All right. There you go. That's wild. I'm glad I'm not in the Transformers game. All right. Well, Holly's here. She's trying to tell me to go do something. So we're going to call it an episode. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hey Archer Live every Thursday, 8:15-ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. Every Monday morning, 9 a.m.-ish here on Nerd Affiliated. We have Nerdy Coffee. Different shows, different vibes. Either way, you're stuck with this guy. More trailer reactions coming, more unboxing videos coming, and more Haslab discussions coming. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll talk to both of you, or the both of us will talk to all of you in the next video. Hang on. Do you want to say peace? Say it. Say it in the microphone. Shy. See you guys later. Peace.